one of the things we really wanted to do is have this sort of truly represent the coalition, and that was the reason why we changed the name. Like when I came here, the studio was called Black Tusk, and there's a mountain here around here called Black Tusk, it's sort of a geographical reference, and we really wanted to put a stake in the sand just before we came out with Ultimate Edition about this is a Gears of War studio, that we may make other games than AAA console games, but it will always be in the Gears of War franchise. Back in May 2015, we changed our name to the Coalition, partly because of the coalition of order governments in the game, and the notion is that a diverse set of people with a common goal, that's what a coalition is, and that's really what the studio is all about. And one of the things we really took on was this idea of respecting the past, that we had to do it right before we do it too differently, because our concern was that people would say like, oh, if we went crazy, and then people go like, oh, they don't even understand Gears, they don't even know how to make a Gears game, so why should we trust them with our franchise? And so we really worked very, very hard to make it, and we spent a lot of time making it feel like Gears, and getting people to get a sense like, yeah, this is a Gears of War game. And then once we had that established, then it was okay, where can we go? And that's where you see things like Horde 3.0 with class systems, with skills, and mobile fortifications, and we try to push it further and make it what I think to be one of the better Gears games. Like I think this is the best Horde mode you're going to find in Gears of War. I think we have a really strong, compelling story with new characters with a nuance that didn't exist in the previous trilogy. So this is a statement from us about Gears of War and the Coalition, and we're really excited about it.
Shit, they're gonna mess up my fucking tomatoes!
We basically are starting from scratch with Gears 4. So the technology we're able to bring to bear, and we're at DX12 and using Unreal Engine 4, and the fact that we're writing it again from scratch is that allows us to create all the different things you saw. Like I think we have probably, I haven't seen so many options in a PC configuration screen. Once you get inside of a closed system like with a console, there's relationships in terms of NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, working with IHVs and partners, and part of that was one of the great things about Ultimate Edition for us, was that they're able to kind of lock those partnerships and relationships in. So now as we look forward to Gears 4, we had all these learnings of like, hey, did we get ahead of somebody and we were slightly ahead of their driver, or that we didn't support this thing the way that we wanted to, and so we were able to take all that in and bring that to Gears 4.
Gears of War has always been a visual showcase, right? Like the first, Gears came out in the 360, and it really just showed off the capabilities of the console. And when it came to the campaign, single-player experience, we really wanted to not hold back on visual spectacle. We wanted to be able to give our graphics developers and our artists twice the graphics time, twice the graphics process, so that every pixel looks as good as it can.
The way that we did it is we just had a dedicated team. So that was the great thing about, again, of Ultimate Edition, is that as part of doing the PC version of Ultimate Edition, is that we had a specific team, a dedicated team that was focused on just PC and just about PC issues. Once they delivered Ultimate Edition, we took that team and we applied them to Gears 4 and then to work on the PC version of Gears 4. So we were able to take all that learning, like Cam McRae is the technical director on our Windows side, and he was the one who was like out in the forums and talking to the community, learning about things that matter to people in terms of super wide and mouse acceleration and all the things that really were important to that PC community, and he brought all that to Gears 4, and so we had that continuity of all the learnings from Ultimate Edition were easily brought because it was the same people working on Gears 4. We have a passion for driving that 4K experience because we author the game in 4K. Like the textures are created by the artists in 4K. So when somebody can play the game in 4K, they're actually playing the game the way the artists wanted it to be seen.
DirectX 12 is a big part of how we're able to get additional performance. We've also really just optimized the crap out of the game. We've optimized our shaders, we've optimized the engine, we've worked very closely with Epic, but then we've also added some of our own sort of optimizations and graphics features to really push performance. Performance-wise, we've optimized so that across our spec, it'll be 60 frames per second, sort of is what we consider the minimum, campaign and multiplayer. When we say, this is what it will be on recommended spec or min spec, it's not, it sort of runs and we've got like the worst settings. It looks really good, and it will run well on your hardware.
But the problem was the second you put out a map pack, you immediately split your audience, which means fewer people can find each other. And that's probably the worst thing you can have for a multiplayer game is starting to separate the audience so they can't find each other. So the addressable pool of people that can play together gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So what we wanted was a system that allowed for everybody to still find each other. That you can find that skill, you can find those numbers. But with Xbox One, you can do this is a mandatory piece of content, and then that gets pushed to everybody, so we can guarantee that everybody has that map. And the fact that we only have to have the host buy it if you actually want to have it, makes it nice where now one person spends a little bit of money to get the map, and now 9 people get to sort of trial it and see if they like it, and before they want to potentially invest. We have a lot of sort of regional tournament support and things like that we want to play into, and so we brought that with Ultimate Edition. We wanted to have that LAN support, and it was something we wanted to continue to fight for as we move forward into Gears 4. We feel like it's hugely important to have a truly disconnected LAN mode that you can play in your dorm, or hotel ballroom, at an esports tournament, what have you, that you don't have to have that connection to live to be able to play in LAN. We're really excited about that, and we're excited that we're actually one of the few games that are doing split screen on PC. So the fact that you can play co-op on the same PC in your ultra wide or however you want to play it, be able to play split screen on PC is going to be exciting too.
How are weapons being affected from mode to mode?
Basically, it makes it where the fights last longer, which the competitive folks mostly want. They want to actually have a fight that's not over in half a second. The shotgun battles last a little longer. You can kind of go in and actually fight more than one person. You're not worried about getting instantly blown up as much. And you have to make sure that your shots are landing, you're closer, and you're hitting your active reloads. So it just really impacts folks that they want to have a longer fight. They want to make sure that when they have a fight, they feel like it's not the guy walked behind them and shot them once, but instead they've landed a good number of shots, and it's more of a back and forth battle.
The sort of the social player, the player sort of plays just for fun versus the highly competitive player. We don't treat them as a single audience. We recognize that in a specific mode, in escalation, you want a different set of weapon tuning than you want from, say, dodgeball. We don't do it like nerfing on the fly in terms of how things are going. Basically, it's just 2 presets that when you load into a specific mode, you bring a specific weapon tuning set with you. And what's nice is that it's all stored up on the back end. So as we look at telemetry and we see, hey, oh, this isn't working, or this is working, or this weapon's too effective, or this weapon's not effective enough, we can change those tunings on the fly, if you will, in the sense that, then we pick up a new weapon tuning set that we can put out overnight or what have you. So, but it's really about recognizing, much like all of our multiplayer philosophy, is recognizing that there's a diverse audience from the new, the social, the competitive, and the esports. And then we really went in, because we had the time, because we had a fully staffed multiplayer team from the very beginning, to go in and create features for all 4 of these audiences and to be able to give them what they need, and especially matchmaking where bronzes play with bronzes and golds play with golds, that you have a fair match, and so it's challenging and exciting, and you're not being shot in the face all the time.